Become immune to deception. Do not fall for the lies and the propaganda that they continuously spread all over, especially social media. And when you combine social media with human nature, oh, you're gonna get one hell of a mess, you know. There's a lot of things happening, but here's the thing: you have to protect your mind, protect your peace, and definitely protect your heart, because you know, given the fact that it is extremely easy to control the minds of the masses, you know that means that people are easily programmable. Most people, right? Very few people are truly genuine. Very few people actually think for themselves. There's not a lot of deep thinkers or independent-minded individuals, which means that any agenda they push out there, even if it's a lie, most people will follow it. If the agenda is hating men or hating women, they will do just that. And that's what I'm seeing, is just this back and forth, and nothing is being built. There's there's none of that. It's just utter distraction after distraction. That's all you see, you know. So for my awakened individuals, you know, we have got to stay focused on our path. Keep doing what you're doing. Stay motivated. And honestly, there's nothing, you're not missing out on anything, you know. And take your time, you know. If you don't have anyone in your life, that's fine. You know, you don't want to just get with anyone, because here's the thing. If you know that you're a good man or a good woman, you have got to protect your heart with your life, because that's basically what it is. You know, because people are so, like, their minds are gone, you know. Their minds are so gone that, you know, one moment they can be with you, and then the next day they will go against you. They will hate you because of, again, there's so much intrusion going on, you know, with whatever's in the media, whatever they put out there. People will eat it up. They will believe it. It becomes their reality. People's mentality today is based off of social engineering. Wisdom and knowledge is not popular. You have to be an idiot to blend in with the masses. Since it is very easy for people to be mind controlled into going against a man or going against a woman, right? You have got to understand that whatever happens, right, you cannot take it personal, right? Because you have people that literally don't think for themselves. Our brains were not programmed to see all of this stimuli all at one time. And it has the ability to program the way that we perceive reality, you know, and not a lot of people really think about that, because it really does. Every day, imagine every day you scroll through content or random stuff pops in your feed, and you know that there's certain content that they're pushing out there that you don't even watch this stuff. And I know, because we see it, you see it, you know, you're scrolling through, you're like, I don't even watch this stuff. Why is this popping up? Because it's an agenda. They want women to hate men, and they want men to hate women. That's another one too. We're going to talk about that as well, because I don't like this whole man versus woman thing. What I see is, it seems to me like not a lot of people are really getting to know people in real life. Because if you get to know people in real life, put yourself in an environment where you are more likely to find a decent person. But what do people do? They go to the club to get drunk. And of course, who goes to the club? People go there, what? Just to use each other, right? That's really it. I find that most people's perceptions are based off of what they see on social media rather than their own experiences themselves. And I think that's a thing that we see now, especially with the younger generation, because they grew up with the phone in their face. So they don't really, it seems like when you see this, right, you see it, you're thinking, these people are not really experiencing real life, but yet they have this mentality that has been formed by just constantly scrolling through videos of what? Just toxicity. A woman, let's say that you see all these videos of people cheating on each other, people fighting, what, a guy caught his girlfriend cheating, how many videos do we see of that? It's not a coincidence that certain things get popularized, and that's for a reason. That's by design. They want to mold the minds of the masses to think in a way that keeps them dumbed down. That's essentially what it is. They don't want an intelligent population, because an intelligent population is very difficult to control, And another thing too is this, be very careful when you're out dating, all right? This is my advice to you guys, for the good men and the good women out there, man. It's not too many of you guys out there, but really, really take care of yourself, because, a lot of people are easily programmed. So because of that, they're going to hate you, all right? So if you're a good man, you're going to encounter women that hate you just because you're a man, and because they're constantly filling their minds with, content, man-hating content, right? And then the same thing with, you ladies, good women out there. Be careful with the men that you're dating, because you have men that all they do is watch content where women look bad. They're constantly watching content, woman-hating content, where now when they see you as those women that they see on the screen, rather than actually getting to know you as a person. It's almost like they don't even respect your autonomy, as an individual. They don't see that. They don't see that, hey, let me get to know this person, you know what I mean? And I don't know what it is about people. Maybe their brains are fried. I don't know, but it's like, personally, finding a decent person is not as hard as people make it seem to be. It's just that a lot of people don't want to do the work to actually attract a good man or woman, or maybe they don't want nobody because they have been hurt so much, and that's understandable, because once upon a time I didn't want to be bothered. If you're a decent person, if you're a high quality individual, and by high quality I'm talking about your spirit and your moral compass and your integrity, because I know that in this type of society, the whole high value man, woman, it's always centered around money and so-called social status and title, basically shit that doesn't really matter at the end of the day, because you can always attain more money, right? A person can make a lot of money, but that doesn't mean that they're a quality person, So I want to put that out the way. So when I say high quality individual, right, I'm talking about the way that God sees us, the actual heart, what type of, your morality, your integrity, things like that, things that actually make you an actual high quality human being, But this world has conditioned people into thinking that they can buy their way into that, oh, I make 6 figures. It actually, it inflates the ego. It actually makes a person, look down on other people because, oh, my income is more than yours, and all this stuff. It basically creates this disgusting attitude that we see, very despicable, like very, it's just not the type of person you want to be around. It's crazy how some of these people, and there's nothing wrong with making a lot of money, all right? So don't misunderstand me with that, but, it's all about your attitude. Keep a good attitude even as you continue to make more money, right? But what I see is that there's this mentality being pushed of, thinking that you're better than another person just because of your salary, when your salary is pretty much irrelevant at this point. Why? Because why the hell would anybody want to be around you when you have a fucked up attitude? You're over here just talking about, oh, I have all this money, I don't need you. It's like, you don't have to act like that. You could make all that money, make all the money you want. There's nothing wrong with the money. It's the attitude that comes with that, the attitude that comes with higher income, degrees and stuff like that, whatever it is that you're getting, right? And again, I value education. I value having a growth mindset and you doing your own thing, having goals. That's great. But maintaining that attitude, a good attitude, Having a pleasant personality, you don't want to center your life around just your money, because I know that money became the god of many in this so-called divided states of America. The divided states is declining because of that mentality, that narcissism that has spread like wildfire. People have this narcissistic, egotistical personality that makes them think that they're more important than the next person. Now, how the hell can you connect with someone that thinks that the world revolves around them? How can you do that? How can you connect with someone that lacks empathy? So literally, most people in the divided states, is very hard to connect with them because all they think about is themselves. All they think about is, ooh, look at me, I'm better than you. They always want to one-up you all the fucking time. It's very annoying, And then you cannot share any accomplishments because then they're going to feel like you're attacking them, right? They're going to feel insecure. Like, too many people have this mentality, and that is what you call narcissism. Narcissism has really spread like crazy to where it's hard to form bonds with people, not just relationships, but even friendships too, and even the workplace. We're in a shitty era, so it's kind of hard to form that connection with people like normal, like how it was once upon a time, in the good old days, right? There, you don't really see that too much. Too many people have, actually, they came up with this term. It's called main character syndrome. And it's basically when a person, it's like calling somebody a narcissist, actually, because main character syndrome is when you think that the world revolves around you. You're like the main character of, whatever movie, TV show, whatever. It's a very self-centered way to live, to perceive reality. It's like these type of people, and if you've ever been around these people, which I'm pretty sure you have, because I have worked around people like this. I don't keep friends like that. If you have no empathy, I'm not gonna even try to get close to you. There's not a lot of people that have the values that you have, and I don't want us to go extinct. It may not be that many of you, but you're not the only one. So keep that in mind, and you have to continue to, give yourself, something like I said, you have to take a break, from watching stuff, because sometimes that becomes your reality. You're constantly viewing other people's lives. See, that's the thing about social media. It gives us this open door to seeing different lifestyles, the way other people are living. And because a lot of people are toxic, and because toxicity is what's popularized, you're going to see more of that than anything else, right? So now you're basing your view of women or men based off of what the algorithm likes to put out there, because it's done by design. They don't want us to come together, When you're talking to people, you really have to gauge where their head is at. And what's so sad is that from what I'm seeing, it seems like it's becoming increasingly difficult for people to really form real connections, because a lot of people are lacking the empathy, lacking the pair bonding. That's a big one too. Why? Because everybody's doing this casual intimacy. What's so sad is that intimacy was not designed to be casual. Intimacy is something that is profound. But of course, when we talk about that, you're going to be seen as an outcast nowadays, or in the divided states. But that is true. Intimacy is deep. It's not something that you just throw around at anyone. But unfortunately, the culture that is being pushed in the divided states is to be giving your energy to any and everybody. That somehow that's a form of liberation. Are you serious? That's bondage. You're literally putting yourself under bondage, because you're constantly, you're being trauma bonded to multiple people, and that is actually very damaging, right? So there's that. But this is why you have to think for yourself, because, and like I said, do not take it personal when you run into people that don't believe that you are who you say you are, right? What do I mean by that? Well, if you're a good man or a good woman, You're going to encounter people that are not going to believe you. They're not going to believe that you're actually a good person because they're not accustomed to that. Too many people are so used to this toxic shit that by the time they see someone like you, they don't believe that you are real. They're going to think that you're just like everyone else, pretending, having a mask. And it's very irritating, because when you're a genuine person, it's like you're thinking to yourself, how many times do I have to prove to you that I am who I say I am? And it's sad because you really have love for that person. You're very interested in them, but they don't believe that you are a good man or a good woman. They're going to come because they keep filling their minds with this toxic media that makes them look at the opposite gender. It's almost like it paints the opposite gender with a broad brush, not allowing themselves to actually get to know a person face to face, real human interaction, and really see, okay, do you see any red flags? Has this person ever showed any signs that they cannot be trusted? Are they, what I mean? All those different things. People don't even want to bother with that, because you could be doing everything right. They're going to still say there's something wrong with it because they're looking for something wrong. Now some of us, I'm not going to lie, there was a time where I was looking for something wrong because I was hurt. A lot of us have been hurt, and that's understandable. That it's hard for you to really trust a person after being, after going through so much. But we have to get to a point where if that's the case, if you truly feel that way, you really shouldn't be dating, because now you're wasting that person's time. That person's energy is being drained because they have to constantly show you who they are, show you, hey, this is really me. Or you could just, just be comfortable in your own company. There's nothing wrong with that until you're ready, or when the time is right. Don't allow the cynical mindset of others to make you question your own value. You're gonna have to be very comfortable with your own solitude until you can actually find someone that is on the same level as you, someone that is spiritually and mentally attuned to your energy and is not draining you, because a lot of people, they're going to take advantage of that. You have to protect yourself because most people, man, they don't care about love. And it's sad. It's really sad that we live in a society that thinks that love is a weakness rather than something that is actually empowering. It's something that actually builds. Yeah, people don't look at it like that no more. It's so sad, right? It's really sad. It's a microwave era. It's a social media era. It's instant gratification. So how can empathy be developed when there is rarely any human interactions? How can that happen, right? There's a lot of fragmentation going on, and then you have, like I said, mass media pushing all this stuff to make you, it distracts you. It pulls your emotions. It reels you in, and it controls the way you feel about certain things. Most men don't even know what a real woman is. And most women don't even know what a real man is, because we live in a society that doesn't even fucking know what a man or a woman even is. Now you tell me that's not out of order.